Morning, folks. Eric Carlson here, running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District in Illinois. Sorry, a little sweaty. Was just out running with my dog. I want to go over a quick video. I know I always say these videos are quick, and I could talk forever on this stuff. There's so much that we need to fix. But today I wanted to address the concerns. I know a lot of my videos focus on the city, the urban vote, and the problems that are up there. That's because about 2/3 of the population of this district is in the city of Chicago and southern Cook County, built up area. I am running to represent everyone in this district. It's unfair the way they draw the maps that someone would have to represent that many disparate things, but that's the way they drew the map to keep control. So the people don't get enough representation for their particular needs, and the congressman has that much more that he has to try and accomplish with limited resources. So again, that's something about districting that I plan to address at the federal level. But right now I want to talk about, and these are concerns that everyone in the district has. It's just they are more of a priority in the suburbs. When I talked to suburban voters, I was out all night last night with people at farmers market talking to a lot of great people. These are primary suburban concerns rather than the city and the issues that I address in those videos. And I'll be doing more of those, and I'll be doing more of these. But things that people worry about right now, of course, everybody, pocketbook, inflation. That was brought on by Democrats pushing through and Republicans when it first happened, COVID, the $1.6 trillion that went through for this COVID bailout, which, as I've said before, was not needed. We didn't realize it at the time, but we could have told you, hey, wait a minute, and not throw out all this money and print all this money, which was going to cause inflation. And you have Janet Yellen, who's been in public office for her entire life, come out there and tell you that, oh, I missed it, I didn't see this coming. Well, then you're incompetent and you need to go. You should resign today. If you didn't see this and this is your primary job, there's something wrong. When they put these people in, we do not have the best people running things, folks. We have people that fit a certain category, whether it be gender or race. You cannot have a successful society by just putting people in there because they check a box. You have to have the best people. So inflation hurts every single person in this district, especially the people, the lower income folks that are stuck paying a larger percentage of their limited income for food and fuel. Some people can't even afford to put enough fuel in their tanks to get to work now. This was all done by politicians in Washington, career politicians who, to keep themselves in power, they came with a bunch of money to divvy it out to you, to look what I'm doing for you. Yeah, keep me in power so I can keep making money. Like Nancy Pelosi got asked yesterday how she became worth over $100 million on a government salary. And she walked away from the question, didn't even answer it. So food and fuel prices. This is the next thing. Because we cut off oil production in this country, we were a net oil exporter, net energy exporter. We were the largest oil producing country in the world. That and natural gas. These things fueled our economy. Low fuel prices. Everything you own, everything you buy for your home, your food, your family has to travel by truck, which fuel prices influence that. So when you had $2.20 a gallon diesel just a year and a half ago, it could get there a lot cheaper than $5.50, $6 a gallon diesel that people were paying, especially when a lot of this stuff comes in through the ports on the coast, California and New York. When this stuff gets shipped in here, those states have some of the highest gas prices in the world, so those trucks have to fill up there. That money gets passed on. That money gets passed down the chain, and it's you that gets screwed. So not only are you paying higher prices for food, and you're paying higher prices for fuel for yourself to get to work to try and make the money that is now worth less. So these are big concerns in the suburbs. People having to deal with this. Now another thing, opioids. A lot of opioid addiction out here, especially in the Will County and the rural areas. Meth has been a problem. Methamphetamine has been a problem for a while out here. Folks in the city may not realize that there are drug problems out here. They just we don't have the gang violence involved with them for the most part, and the shootings and the violence that comes along with them. But it is a silent killer, and especially fentanyl. Now, it's being produced in China. It's being pipelined through the Mexican drug cartel through an open southern border. We did a video on the open southern border and how it hurts all of us. But fentanyl killed 107,000 Americans last year. That's more that died in the Vietnam War and the Korean War combined, by far, far more. The Chinese are killing us. The Chinese are at war with us. People at the top will not realize it because a lot of them take money from Chinese corporations, Chinese-backed businesses, fund a lot of these candidates. A lot of them are bought off, so they won't do anything to actually fix the problem. That's why I want to go to Washington. Taxes. You see what's happening here? We have some of the highest taxes in the country here in Illinois. This is driving people out of the state, which reduces your tax, the amount of tax money that you have, that you actually take in, because the people that can afford to leave here and go to other states like Florida and Texas and Tennessee. Florida and Tennessee, no state income tax. How can Florida run a state that's almost twice the size in population as Illinois with no state income tax? And they managed to get everything done, and things are much better down there, and things work down there. Why is that? It's because of Democrat policies, folks. And I've said this before. If you're watching this and you normally vote Democrat or you're an independent, you got to stop looking at D's and R's. You have to start looking at policies and the individual candidates and what they're going to do. I can work with a Democrat who is conservative. I can't work with a Democrat that says, oh yeah, the border should be open, and if you say it should be closed, you're a racist. Well, no, that's not the argument here. Sorry, we get off a little bit on these things. But government overreach and corruption. Now, I know a lot of folks in the black community are like, yeah, we don't even pay attention to that. It affects you. It affects you absolutely. When they do corrupt stuff at the FBI and DOJ level, when they get bogus warrants on a presidential candidate and a sitting president, they lie. Attorneys and federal agents lie to a federal judge, to get bogus warrants to spy on someone. If they'll do that to the president of the United States, what will they do to you? They don't care about you. It's about power. It's about keeping them in there. And it's about fear, instilling fear in other politicians. Don't get out of line because we can come and get you too. That's not how this is supposed to work at all. And a lot of people out here in the rural areas and the suburban areas watch that, and they pay attention to it, and they hate it. They want it gone. When I go there, I'm not beholden to anyone. I haven't taken any money from anyone. I will not take money from anyone. I cannot be bought. I am untouchable in this campaign. The last thing I'll go over is crime in this video. We never had a lot of crime. We never had a lot of crime here in the suburbs. Traditionally, like I tell people, it's not guns that do the violence. We have a lot of guns out here. Everybody's got guns. In the rural areas, everybody's got guns. Nobody gets shot. But the crime that's going on in the city is starting to spread out here, and we're seeing that. We're seeing carjackings here in the suburbs. We saw just about a month, maybe a month and a half ago, we had two young black men decide that they were going to come out to the, I guess, lily white suburbs, and they were going to go into a biker bar at 2 a.m. and hold the people up. What they didn't realize was that we do not tolerate that stuff out here. That's why it doesn't happen. It's not because we do not tolerate that type of stuff. Well, two guys came in. Well, one of them made it in the door with his gun, and I'm not sure what he said. The story I got, he walked in the door. He was shot dead by someone with a legal conceal and carry. Now, this didn't make national news. It didn't make the news here. It wasn't big in Chicago. Nobody told you about it. But the second perpetrator ran off. The first one was killed. He was killed by a man in the bar. Now, this is traditionally a biker bar. But the guy who shot him had a legal concealed carry. And as far as I know, what I was told is the man that shot him in the bar was black. Had a legal concealed carry, saw him come in, these guys waving guns, and they shot him. It turns out the guns that these guys had were airsoft pistols. So you stack stupid on top of stupid, and that's what you get. So, you can't, and the reason there's no public outrage in anything that you shot a poor, technically unarmed black young man was because it was shot by another black man who was doing things right and doing things legally and protecting the people around him. You don't hear this story. Why don't you hear this stuff? So the difference is we don't tolerate the crime. It happens out here because people can't be everywhere and you can't cover everything. But when you start carjacking people, and if the police can't take care of it, and if the state's attorneys are not going to prosecute this and do their jobs, Kim Foxx, Kwame Raoul, you have all these people that are not doing their job, not protecting the people. And the police, if they're not being backed up, if they're going to go and possibly make an arrest and it's going to get tossed out, why are they going to do the effort? Because if they go there, they may get involved in an incident where they have to use force. And if they use force, they know that these people and the public are going to turn, and the media, I shouldn't say the public, because most of the public gets it, but the media is going to put a narrative out there, and that's going to inflame the radical left. That's going to come out, that 10% of people that just got to yell and complain about everything, they're going to come out and make this seem like a big deal. So the cops don't want to show up. And that's because all these people, Democrat politicians, tell, oh, the police are evil, to get the votes of the people. See, we're standing with you. You're hurting the people. When you hamstring the police, you are hurting the people. When you say defund the police, you need to fund more police, more training. Police have a rough job. And I'll tell you something, a lot of them that I know personally go out and they spend their own money to go to special classes to get extra training out of their pocket so they know how to deal with certain situations. There's a lot of experts out there in the field, guys. There's a lot of military guys that deal with stressful situations, and they impart different things you can do to keep those situations under control, keep them from escalating. I know we hear a lot about de-escalation techniques and stuff, and they're trying to do it. But if you don't have the money to train, if your budget just allows for salaries and it doesn't allow, it costs money to train these people, to have them come in on their days off and go in and do this extra training to benefit the people in the neighborhoods. I don't want to get off track here, but these are some of the primary concerns of the people in the suburbs. And believe me, I'm going to address those. I am running to represent everyone in this district. The first district is made up of people of all different races, backgrounds, careers, living situations, and you have to have someone that can relate to all of those. And I can do that better than my opponent in this race. And also the financing, I can't be bought. I'm going to do another video on financing today and look at who's financing the Democrat candidate. So that's it for right now, but I just want everybody to know that I'm looking out for everyone's interests. And I'm doing the best I can, and I will address all these issues when I go to Washington. Being in a body of 435 people, I cannot promise you that these will get fixed, but I will do everything in my power to get them fixed. I don't care who I have to work with. If they see the things the way I see them, which are the problems. And please, folks, if you have suggestions, if you have things you want to say, you have something that you want me to address in a video, please put it in the comments or send me an email at the website, ericcarlsonforcongress.com. My website has the email address at the top, so you can drop me an email. I get back to them as fast as I can. Again, I'm a one-man campaign. I'm not taking money from anyone, to pay a bunch of people to, waste your money to do something that I could do on my own. And that's part of why I'm running this on my own. And I'm not asking people, is because I don't want to be beholden to anyone, and I want to show you that it can be done. So hopefully other people out there, better candidates than myself, will step up and step into these roles and realize that you don't have to be afraid of them, and you don't have, they're going to drag your name through the mud. They're going to talk all kinds of smack about you. I knew that going in, and, it's something I'm going to, I can take a punch. If you haven't seen this crooked nose and, scars on my face, I can take a punch. So that's it for now. I'm looking out for everyone. Please share this stuff. Spread the word about my campaign, because I'm doing this with no money, and it's going to be all word of mouth. So EricCarlsonforCongress.com. Thank you again.